Alright, so I'm going to open up and disassemble this HP Envy x360 convertible PC. Model number, let's see here, is it on here? 13-Y013CL. Alright, so to open this up, we're going to need a Torx 5 or T5 screwdriver. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a T5 bit, and we're going to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put the flat side down like this. In the pattern, I remove it. So there's 4 across here, then 2 here, and then 2 across the bottom. So I'll just put them in that pattern. So here you can see this one's much smaller. So that's why I always try and keep them in order, all right? It's very important. If you put the wrong screw in the wrong place, you can cause damage to the computer. So you want to try and keep the screws in order if you can, all right? If this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider throwing a little my way. Every little bit helps. Even $1 is greatly appreciated. All right, so let's go ahead and continue removing all the screws. There we go. I'll remove the 2 from the bottom. Okay, if I remember correctly, these models are a little bit tricky to remove. So we'll see here when we go ahead and try and get the cover off. So because there's only 2 screws at the bottom, that usually means you gotta remove the cover from the top side here. Let's try with a suction cup just because the bottom here is very smooth. This might be a little bit easier because they already dented it and it's kind of coming out here. So normally it wouldn't be coming out like this. So I'm gonna actually start from this side because this will be more like, okay, so actually this side's also coming out pretty easy. All right, and then usually what you gotta do is you gotta kind of push this cover down, or the cover down this way, and this cover up the other way. So that way you can remove the little clips from the back here, if you can see. So there's little plastic clips here that kind of stick out. Is that one broken? Huh. So these clips are kind of like broken. But anyways, we're gonna do that, right? Then you kind of gotta lift the center and then you kind of flex these sides down. So that way it kind of curves it in, and that way the clips along the side here can detach themselves. So just like that, here you can see it came out. All right, and then you kind of swing it up and wiggle it around. And there we go, we got this out. Again, it's kind of weird, this plastic clip here. Oh, it's completely gone. Where'd it go? Okay, well, this one clips here. Oh wait, that's the other. Okay, never mind, that's how that clip is. So it's just like that. I don't know if there were extra pieces, but there's the one clip in the center that kind of sticks out more than the rest, and then there's this other like different type of clip. I thought it was like bent, but that's how it is. And then it looks like this piece, the glue came out, and I don't know, it's somewhere inside the computer. So anyways, it looks pretty dirty inside, so I'm gonna have to clean this up and then I'll be back. So we're gonna be replacing the screen on this one, or the LCD, the whole front glass panel. The LCD actually still works, but the glass and the LCD are stuck together. So because of that, we're going to try and replace them all. And as you can see, actually the screws under here are also coming up. So this is actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put those screws back in, or the plastic underneath is broken. It looks like the screws just came loose. So on this model, I'm very likely going to have to do a complete disassembly to tighten down the screws here. These screws are also loose here. And I'm gonna add some red thread locker there because these screws, the blue stuff isn't good enough. All right, so let's clean this up and I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back. I cleaned out the loose dust, I brushed it and then blew it out, but as you can see, this spill stuff is stuck there. It looks like dried milk or something. But anyways, let's go ahead and take this thing apart. Looks like somebody might have opened it already because I just noticed that this speaker connector was disconnected. So this is for the right speaker. It's on the left side right now because it's upside down, of course. Anyways, battery model number is PK03XL. Let's go ahead and remove the battery first. So the battery connector is right here. We are going to remove the screws. They are, let's see here, they looks like PH1 or JAS1 screws. So let's go ahead and switch to the PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver bit. All right, and we're gonna lift this thing up. There's a lot of like broken bits and pieces of stuff in here. Hopefully this computer will still be okay after doing this. You can see the plastic here that holds the batteries all broken and falling apart. Okay, so this thing is pretty badly damaged here. This is a pretty pretty big job for just the bottom of the screen is cracked. So the screen itself, the LCD is okay, but the glass is cracked. The battery is missing all these plastic things that are supposed to hold it in place. So there's supposed to be a plastic mount here holding the battery in place here as well. All right, then we got one more screw here. Okay, I don't know if any screws are missing because I don't know what the customer did to it before. So I can't say for sure if those are all the screws, or so if you see any screws that I didn't take out, then keep that in mind. Somebody definitely worked on this before. Normally the speaker cable passes through here and is held in place there. So if that's the case, you're going to want to actually remove the speaker connector here first. So to do that, I just use my fingernails at the wings of the connector and I kind of just wiggle it to pull it back, and it walks the connector out. So you can see this connector normally should be going up in here like this in that thing. So again, make sure to check yours because I don't know what the customer had done on this before, so it might be all messed up. All right, so this speaker is also not connected right. We're going to undo the adhesive here. Okay, and just move that out of the way. Then you got the battery connector here. I'm going to grab the wings and just wiggle and pull it back. So that battery actually came out super easy. This battery pack is really weird. It's super floppy. Normally there's supposed to be some plastic holding it together. So I don't know what they did, but they damaged it pretty bad. All right, so we'll set that aside. Okay, here you can see the CMOS or BIOS battery here. It's plugged in underneath the board. I'm going to just peel it up so that I can take it out. Again, I think they took this out before because it's came out so easily. Anyways, I'm going to open the screen now, and then I'm going to press and hold the power button on the side here. So just to drain any power to avoid damaging it further. Okay, you want to hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then that should prevent you from accidentally damaging the board when removing the LCD or LVDS connector. Okay, let's close this up. I have to be very careful because, again, these screws aren't holding it in place anymore. So let me actually push that down by hand. It's actually bending up this heat pipe, which is not good. So I'm going to have to be careful with that. Again, I'm going to try and remove the entire motherboard here so that I can work on this better. All right, so let's see here. Again, if there's any screws here that you see on yours that aren't on here, then you might want to make sure to remove those as well. So I'm going to peel up this plastic adhesive. Okay. And be careful with this. All right, so I'm just going to move this aside, and then we're going to disconnect these cables here. So we got the, let's see if I can zoom in to make it easier to see. Okay, so we got the touchpad or trackpad connector here. Just flip that latch up. Once you flip that latch up, you can actually pull this cable out. You want to be very careful with the cables because they are fragile. So try and get underneath and then just wiggle and pull it back. There we go. Usually you would use the blue tab to pull it, but it's too short, so you can't really grab that. All right, so we got the keyboard connector here, same thing. Flip it up, and then if you can get under this blue tab, but it looks like we can't, so I'm gonna have to lift it from here and try and pull it back this way. You do have to lift it up so that the little blue wings go over the raised plastic edges. And then you got the keyboard backlight connector here, same thing, lift it up and pull this back. All right, so we already removed the speaker here as well as the battery connector down here. And the CMOS battery, we just took the tape off or undid the adhesive here. So we're gonna leave that connected. All right, we got this small connector here. I'm not 100% sure what that's for. I think are there volume buttons in that corner there or something? I don't see any volume buttons or anything. It might just be for the headphone jack. Oh yeah, so the headphone jack on here is in a separate connector, and that's what this is. So we're gonna flip that latch up. All right, now we can actually, as you can see, you can grab the blue plastic tab and then you can use that to pull it back. Okay, I'm not sure what this screw is holding. I have a feeling somebody took the screws out and mixed things up. Oops, let's zoom out here. So this looks like there should be this big screw here, and I think probably this small screw is supposed to be over there. So somebody definitely worked on this before and mixed a bunch of stuff up, or at least it looks like it. I could be wrong, but yeah, this is one of the reasons why I usually don't tend to like working on stuff that's been worked on before, because usually stuff gets all mixed up. So anyways, let's go ahead and remove this screw. I'm actually using a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver to remove the screws. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this screw. This is the wireless card here. Again, I don't think this is, the screws are in the proper spots, so let's go ahead and remove the wireless antennas. They aren't labeled, but anyways, so what I do is I get my fingernail underneath the antenna, pull it up slightly, and then I push the wireless card down just like that, since there's not much room for me to pull on the tail of the wireless antennas. So normally what you do is you pull on the tail of the wireless antenna and you just pull that straight up, but since there's not much room, I'm gonna hold it up and then push the card down just like that. All right, and then to remove the wireless card, you lift it slightly at an angle and then you pull it back just like that, and there we go, we got the wireless card out. Okay, again, I have a feeling this is a M.2, looks like a PCIe, yeah, it is a PCIe NVMe SSD. So there's this one screw here. It looks like this small screw is supposed to go here and this big screw is supposed to actually go here. So again, it looks like somebody mixed it up. Yeah, this screw goes right there, I believe. So I'm gonna move that, switch them around, because it looks like the small screw would actually fit better with the SSD. Okay, so once you remove that screw, you can get underneath the SSD, lift it up slightly, and then you can wiggle and pull this back. There we go, just like that. Okay, all right, so hopefully you did disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button. So now we're going to disconnect the LCD Lvds connector here, so just flip that latch up. There's not much room to work to grab that, so I'm going to leave that connected for now. Let's go ahead and remove the screw here that's holding the motherboard down. Okay, just like that. All right, let's see. You got the DC jack or the charge port here. So usually I would use my fingernails to do that, but there's not much room there, so I'm going to use the screwdriver here to help, and I'm going to pull that back just like this. Okay, again, this thing is pushing up on there. That's not good. Okay, let's see. There's a screw hidden under here for the fan, so let's go ahead and remove that screw. Sorry, I know my hand's getting in the way, but hopefully you get the idea. There's one more screw holding the fan here, so we're going to remove that one as well. Okay, then we got the SD card slot connector here. We're going to flip that latch up, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this cable out as well. Kind of get underneath and then wiggle and pull that back. There we go. All right, I think that's all the screws that are holding this thing down. Okay, and then there's the RAM here. I don't think there's an actual slot here, but I'm going to open it just to show it. Is there? No. So there's no actual RAM slot here. The RAM is soldered down to the board. Okay, so on this model you can't even upgrade the RAM. All right, so I'm going to push that all back into place. The fan is, okay, it's separate from the rest of the motherboard, so let's go ahead and lift that out. All right, once you get those two fan screws out, you can actually lift the whole fan up. As you can see, we're going to go ahead and disconnect this cable. Just like the other ones, I just used my fingernails to grab the wings, and then I kind of just wiggle it. I'm going to rotate the computer to make this easier for me to do. Okay, so hopefully you can see here. Gotta try and get some room in there. There's not much room, but let's see, it might help to use a screwdriver to do this since there's not much room. So fingernail on one side, and then I'm using the screwdriver to help wiggle it. So you just keep wiggling it, walking the connector back and forth slowly. All right, don't try and force it out, and eventually it will pop out. Just be patient with it, okay? Just like this. Okay, this one is pretty tough. I might have to use flathead screwdriver because this one keeps slipping. let's see, come on. Keep wiggling it, and there we go. Eventually pops out. Okay, I'm gonna take the fan and set that aside. Alright, so here we go. We got the motherboard here. I think we got all the screws and all the connectors out. Let's see if we can lift it. Sometimes the, oops, let's zoom out. So sometimes these ports are actually sticking out in the way, so you want to be careful when trying to lift the board up. Let's try and lift from the center of the board. A lot of times that will flex the board enough to pull the connectors in, but you don't want to flex the board too much, of course, or you can damage it. Alright, so we're lifting up from the left side over here. I'm going to slowly work our way over, gently lifting it. Alright, and then we're going to get the LCD Lvds connector out just by moving this out of the way. There we go. So we got the whole motherboard out, and that's what it looks like underneath. There's not really much to do there. And again, there's the CMOS or BIOS battery. If these buttons break, you can solder new ones on there, but it takes some good, decent soldering skill to be able to replace those tiny buttons. So if for some reason you break the buttons on the side, keep that in mind. I think the same thing with the power button, right? Let's see. Yeah, the power button is on this side, and there's just that tiny button there. So if you somehow break those buttons, keep in mind that you're going to have somewhat skilled person that can do soldering to help you with that. Alright, so let's try and clean out this gunk here. Here you can see the audio jack here. Okay, and these screws, as you can see, they just popped out. I think I can just screw them back into place. Yeah, they just screw back into place. So technically I don't have to take the entire thing apart, but I'll do it just to make it a little bit easier to work on, and also to show what it looks like. Again, I'm going to add some red thread locker to this later. Alright, so to make this easier to work on, you're going to open this up. Alright, here, I don't know if you can see here, glass is cracked here and here, and then the small cracks go up through the glass. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to open it pretty much 180 degrees. There are magnets in this cover, so be careful with that. Alright, let's see if I can pop it out this way. So I have it open like completely flat. So I'm going to take these two screws out. I'm actually going to mark it so I can see, so I can remember where each screw went. Okay, they don't have to go in the same exact spot, but I see two here. It looks like these things, I don't know if there used to be screws here and they broke. It might just be metal. Alright, so I'm going to just mark this like that, so I know that the screws came from here. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and take those screws out. The lines don't need to match back up after you put them back, but I just put it there so I can tell where those screws came from, so I don't end up putting them in the wrong spots. Okay. So we're going to remove all 4 screws here. Hopefully I didn't have to open the screen further to be able to remove this. So let's see here. Okay, so we got that. Alright, now let's see. Can we shift the screen out here? This screen is actually... okay. So I think I'm going to have to probably open the hinges up more, or possibly less. Let's see, if I open it further... okay, actually I have to open it further. So to do this, oops, let's zoom out some more. So you can just put the screws all the way back in. I'm going to try and hold this hinges with my hands and then just fold it backwards. Oops, you don't want to damage the audio jack cable here. Alright, so let's try and rotate this back. Again, you could just put the screws back in, but I'm just going to do it this way. Alright. There we go. Okay, so now that we got the thing opened up like backwards 90 degrees, I think we can slide this back towards myself. Yep. Okay. And we can be careful with all these cables here. Okay. I'm going to have to slowly, carefully guide this out of here. Alright, so the only thing holding it is the LCD LVDS cable, and then the 2 wireless antennas. So now we got this out, okay? All right, so here you can see how the charge port is held underneath the hinge there. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside. We don't need to work on this anymore, but as you can see, the speakers are held in with some screws here if you want to replace it. I think this was one of the battery screws on top, but yeah. All right, let's go ahead and see about removing the screen here from this whole frame. So the screen's already broken, so I don't need to be too careful with it, but if you wanted to save it, then yeah, you gotta be careful. So let me show you what the replacement screen looks like. It's actually all wrapped up onto this cardboard thing. So I'm gonna undo this. Okay. So it just comes like this. You want to be careful when unwrapping this stuff near the motherboard, because this plastic can generate some static. So make sure you have yourself grounded, touch something metal, keep yourself from building up static electricity, so that when you go to touch the motherboard again, you're not going to end up frying the motherboard. Okay, so we're just going to peel up this stuff. Okay. Go, and then we wrapped it over this way. You can just fast forward over this if you want. You don't need to really watch me unravel this plastic, but yep. Alright. If you want to see how some companies will package the screens and things like that, this is how they do it. Alright. Oh, so that's stuck on there. Make sure you don't rip that off. Okay. Alright. So we got that. Alright. Then they also put a bunch of this masking tape to help hold it. Peel that off as well. You want to be very careful you don't put too much pressure on this thing because it's fragile. Okay, so this is what the replacement screen looks like. Go just like that. Alright, we're going to toss that aside, and here we go. So it looks like this. Oh, and they put this clear stuff on top as well, so it's all bubbly, but here we go. Looks like that. That's what the new one looks like. So I'm going to just put this back on for now. Alright, we're going to set the screen aside, and then let's go ahead and finish taking the other one out. So if you look at the back, actually, this is all just smooth here. So this actually will have an adhesive that holds it down onto the frame. Then you got these for the digitizer, and then this is for the screen. Right? The digitizer is what handles the touch functionality. Okay, so I don't know if the plastic frame will come out of this, or if I'm going to have to just very carefully pry all this glass out. If I have to pry all the glass out, I'm going to have to, I don't know if I'll be able to do it here, because then I'll end up with broken shards of glass all over my work area. So let's see if I can pry out the plastic piece. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't think the plastic frame is going to come separate. So most likely we're going to have to get underneath this glass and just slowly separate it. So, is that going to mess up the rubber piece there? It looks like it. So let's see. I'm going to have to try and pry all of this glass out, but it's going to be dangerous. As you can see, it's not really separating well. Yeah, this, I don't know, this plastic frame, I don't know if it's going to come out separately. It doesn't look like it. So let's see. Alright, since the glass is all broken, we're just going to force it in and pry it up. You do want to be careful because there is the digitizer control board under there. Okay, but basically I'm just getting my thin pry tool and trying to pry up underneath here. Okay, it looks like that's actually, the silver piece looks like it's actually lifting up with the plastic piece here. Is that a, no, that's solid. Okay, so let's go ahead and try prying this. We have to be careful again because all this glass might fly out. I don't want to stare at it. So I'm going to start removing little shards of glass here. Okay. This is a very dangerous job. Okay. This kind of thing, if you can, you might want to get some goggles to make working on this a little bit safer, so if the glass shoots out, it won't shoot into your eye. Okay, let me actually get my glasses to work on this. So they do have a strong adhesive there. All right, let me get some glasses and I'll be back just in case, so I don't get glass in my eyes. All right, so I'm back. I got some glasses to kind of help. We'll see if I can somehow pop this stuff up. All right, we're just slowly scraping under the glass, trying to get it out. Let's see if this is stretch adhesive, then maybe I can use it to undo the adhesive here. So now that I got underneath the corner, let me see if I can somehow pull this adhesive. If it's the stretch adhesive, you can actually just keep pulling it. It looks like it is, so I'm going to keep pulling this. And as you can see, it's releasing the adhesive stickiness. So just be careful not to get it cut by the glass, and you should be able to keep peeling this all the way till the end. Okay, I'm going to be careful. The hinge is kind of hanging off my desk. Maybe I should get a box to put this on. But let me see, I'll just lean against it and we'll just keep pulling the adhesive out here. Okay, so luckily this is the stretch adhesive. I don't know how you would normally get to this adhesive if it wasn't broken like this. But as you can see, as you stretch it, the adhesive just keeps pulling out. Alright, and then you'll end up with this nice long spaghetti of adhesive. Ooh. It actually ended up popping out over the edge here. Okay, I think I got all of that. So here you go, we got this spaghetti of adhesive here. And then, oh, my glasses are gonna start fogging up. Then we got all this broken glass here. That's just gonna fall off now because it's not held in with the sticky thing. I have to be careful. Hopefully I don't cut my hands scooping this stuff up out of the way. Okay. All right. Scoop that all up. Dump that in the trash. My glasses are getting foggy, so this is not going to work well. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. Same thing. Hopefully we can just stretch it and it will all release. Here you can see as you stretch it, the glass is kind of moving with it and it's slowly releasing. Okay. To be careful that it's not going to launch all that glass out. Okay, hold on to that glass. There we go. So we got all of that out. So hopefully now the bottom layer, oh, there's still some adhesive there. Oh, does it go all the way in a circle? Okay, so let's see. If that's the case, this will make it a lot easier. Nope. Okay, it just went up to part of the edge. Again, I don't know how you would get to that adhesive if your screen wasn't already broken like that. I don't know how I'm going to get the rest of the edge here, but that did get rid of a lot of the adhesive all towards the bottom end. I might have cut myself with the glass. Okay, I don't know. Hopefully this video will help you guys. The stretchy adhesive is kind of nice if you can get it to pull and release evenly, but a lot of the times, as you saw, it just breaks like that. Let's see if we can lift this out. Okay. Can. Oh, there's more of the stretch adhesive here, so let's try and peel that. Okay, I think it is going up into the frame. Nope. Okay. So it only goes part way up into the frame, which is too bad because it would be nice if you can just stretch and pull the entire thing out. There's so much broken glass in here, so I have to be very careful. probably should get like a small tabletop sweepy thing here. I think I got some itchy thing there. It's probably from a tiny shard of glass, but it doesn't hurt, it's just itchy. Okay. Alright, so let's see here. So now this whole front bottom layer should be able to come up pretty easily. Let's see if I can rotate that. Okay. So if I I can get underneath here very easily. Okay, because that stretch adhesive let go. The problem is all the connectors are at the bottom, so usually what you want is for the top layer to come out. I got an itchy bump on my hand. Let's see if I can get the side here, because this one's all cracked, so maybe this side will just pop up. Or maybe I can get a hold of another thing of that stretchy adhesive on the side here. And if that works, then I can probably just peel that out slowly. Let's try with a little needle. Okay, let's try and get this glass up and out of the way. So I don't know how that plastic frame would come out of here, but let's see. Okay, so we got some of this glass out. Is there a stretchy adhesive, or is it just regular? Let's try and use some tweezers. If this is the stretch adhesive, that will be nice. It might be. Okay, so we're getting part of the adhesive up. No, this one doesn't feel stretchy, it just feels like regular adhesive. Okay, let's go ahead and continue peeling stuff up. I'm going to use a small flathead screwdriver and see if that helps. See if I can get underneath here and just peel this glass up. No? Too thick? Let's try the smaller one. Glass is just breaking. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this adhesive is the stretchy kind under here. So we might have to just slowly pry this glass out. Let's try with my, do I have this one? This one that I sharpened a little bit so it's even thinner. Slightly get under the glass and lift it up, but we are also cutting some of that rubber. Okay, slowly peeling. This looks like it's going to be a real pain to remove. So yeah, this is not the stretchy adhesive, this is the regular type of adhesive. Let's see if we can use this to just peel up the screen. No? Oh man. This is gonna suck. Okay. I'm gonna slowly try and peel this out, especially since it broke here. I might have to use the heater. I don't want more heat in here. It's already a very hot day. But it looks like we might have to do that. So yeah, that doesn't want to come out at all. Okay, let's see. The other side's probably the same exact thing. Again, I kind of wish that, I don't know why they did it this way. So if I pull this, problem is I think they slide part of the thing under this part here, so you can't just yank that out. So you got the bottom out, but there's not really, is there a purpose? Can we release this afterwards? Okay, so here you can see the plastic here can be pulled out a little bit. I don't know if we're going to be able to completely take it out this way, but let's try. Come on, plastic frame, get up. Nope, I don't think this plastic frame is just going to come out. I think it's also glued to this because when I'm pulling on it, it's really stuck in there. So it looks like we're going to have to use some heat to do this. So I'm going to get this portable heater thing I have. Alright, and I'm going to plug this in, and we're just going to heat up the glass and slowly work our way to get this glass out. Again, these tend to be a pain. So if you're going to do this, you're probably going to end up replacing the whole thing here and not just the LCD and the glass itself. So I'm going to heat this, and then hopefully once it's warm enough I can slowly be peeling under here, and then you can stick something underneath. I have a million popsicle sticks, so I'm probably just going to stick those in the gap to keep it lifted. Okay, get a bunch of popsicle sticks. Alright. So we're just going to keep heating this until the glass is hot to the touch, and then we can hopefully just peel this out. Alright. This is going to be a very long and tedious process. I don't mind if you decide to just fast forward through the whole thing. I kind of want to record the whole thing so you can see how long the process is, what kind of work you'll be in for if you're going to try and attempt this. Again, this isn't an easy job. I'll try it with the plastic tool because maybe then it's thinner so I can go along the entire edge. But most likely this is going to be a very big pain. Alright, so I'm going to keep heating this, and I'm going to slowly force this tool into the cracks. Oh, it's just cracking the glass. Again, you want to be careful. Okay, this kind of thing, opening this, takes a lot of patience. You want to just slowly work your way. Alright, as you heat this, it will slowly help you peel it up. Okay, I'm just going to keep slowly forcing this pry tool or spudger or whatever you want to call it into that gap. Working my way all the way down the length of the screen. As you can see, the glass is just going to keep cracking like that. Okay, I don't know of a way to keep it 100% intact. You can probably dip it in like dry ice or something to freeze or not dry ice, liquid nitrogen to freeze the adhesive, and then that would probably release it pretty easily. But I don't have that kind of stuff. So we're just going to slowly keep working our way down here like this. Okay. You can see it's lifting up all the way along. Just going to continue working our way down. Alright. After this, my pry tool is going to be disgusting. Covered with like sticky gunk. Keep slowly working our way down. If you want, you can go ahead and remove and throw away the broken glass that's coming up, if it comes out. Okay. It's stuck on there, so I don't want to try and pull too hard, it might cut me. I'm going to continue working our way down. Okay, just like this. Be careful not to stab yourself if you're using this kind of tool, because the other end is a very sharp spike there. Okay, so you can see it's slowly getting there. Oh, it's getting hot. All right, I'm going to turn the heater off for now. We're going to continue working our way down. I'm going to have to keep using it. I don't know why I turned it off, but whatever. Okay, so here you can see this whole part is coming out. The rubber piece here is kind of damaged, but let's continue scraping this out. Alright, let's go ahead and work our way around the top now. Yeah, we're just slowly working our way over. Top side somehow's peeling up a lot easier on its own. Okay, never mind. Let's go ahead and start adding heat again. Let's see, can we peel this thing out? Nope. So that's all stuck in there too. Alright, let's keep heating it. And then we're going to have to clean up all the adhesive residue so that we can put new adhesive in there. Slowly working our way down with the spudger. If you're super patient and have a lot of time, you can actually just put something to lift it up and it will slowly peel itself up even without the heat, just because the adhesive is not designed for a constant force pulling on it. So keep that in mind. If you wanted to do this and you have a lot of time, you can actually just put stuff between the layers and pry it up and then just leave it for a bit. But that will take a long time, like a period of days going over the entire thing. Okay, you can see we're getting slowly working our way down. Constantly applying heat, and glass is shooting out, so I have to be careful it's not going to go in my eyes. If you're doing this, be careful also because people might step in the glass and cut their feet. So wherever you're working on this, make sure that it's contained and you can clean it up. Okay, you can see the top is coming out. Okay, slowly working our way over. Okay, you want to be careful here. I believe there's a microphone here, the camera, and then another microphone. So you don't want the tool to go too far there. I'm trying to have the tool slightly higher up. Okay. I'm going to actually use some of these popsicle sticks and get them in there, just to help lift it up, keep it lifted up. Alright, continue working your way over. Keep heating it. So you can see it's coming out very slowly but surely. Okay, let's get another popsicle stick in here. Slowly continue working our way down. Oh, why is it stuck right there? Let's try and flip the tool a little bit. Okay. Continue working our way down. There we go. Again, if you work really slowly, then you can actually get this without cracking it too much. Okay. Take that in there. But because this thing's already broken, there's not really a point to save it. Okay, we're getting there. Alright. Keep heating, keep slowly moving your way down. Working at it. It's stuck right there for some reason. Okay. Pull the tool back out a little bit. Let's continue going. It's too hot. I'm ending up with all these shards of glass everywhere. Thing that didn't explode in my face. Okay, let's get another another popsicle stick in there. Okay. You can use whatever you got. Some people use playing cards to do this. You can use index cards or whatever to keep the layers separate. As far as prying this goes, you do need a sturdy tool. This kind of tool is kind of a semi-non-stick, so it's harder for things to stick to it the way they made it. Okay, we're getting there. Let's get some more popsicle sticks in there. Okay, let's keep heating this. Slowly work our way down the side. Try and get the popsicle stick all the way down. Ah, it's burning my hand. Get in there. Okay, let me pull this out. Okay, slowly heating that. Continue working our way down the side. Let's see here. Okay. It's working. We're going to keep heating it. We're almost there. Then we're going to have to clean up all the residue and then add some new adhesive and then stick the new one in place. Okay. Continue working our way down. Let me actually look from the side here. Okay. Continue working our way down. Just going slowly. I think we don't need any more heat. I'm going to stick another popsicle stick in there. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, let's turn off the heater and just continue working our way slowly down. almost cut my hand. Okay, so we got all of that up. So let's see, we should hopefully be able to pull the entire thing forward. Okay, let's be careful because there's the glass shards all over here. I'm going to use a popsicle stick to help me move them out of the way. Okay. Alright, so we got all of that. Let me throw these into the trash. Alright, so I think that's far pulled enough that hopefully we can pull the screen forward now. Okay. There's still some adhesive kind of holding it. Let's take all these popsicle sticks out as we slowly pull it forward. Okay, there's some adhesive still here holding it in place. But for the most part, it looks like we got it. Okay, be careful for the camera. You don't want to dirty the lens. Peel this adhesive here. Okay, gotta be careful because there's all that broken glass. Alright, so let this slowly fall forward here. So here you can see, now we can actually pull this up. Okay, and then you can kind of flip it forward, but you want to be very careful. There's not much slack here. Okay, let's see, how are we going to do this? So this board is like this. This is how the digitizer is connected. So we're going to flip these little latches here. Okay, there's the two latches. We got one out, got the other one, and there we go. So this is how the digitizer board, that's how it connects. It has this wire here that connects to this board, and then the two screen connectors connect there. It'll actually be easier to disconnect this first, and then we'll attach this board onto the new screen, and then we'll reconnect this. So let's try and pull this out. You want to be careful. It's a bit difficult to pull this off. But there we go. Okay, so we got that out. There's a little adhesive holding this board in place as well. Okay, now let's go ahead and flip this and see if I can show how to remove this. Okay, this, just like every other LCD screen connector, looks like there's, actually, is there adhesive holding it? Okay, yeah, this whole piece here is actually adhesive holding that in place. So I'm going to use my, what do you call here, this thing, and then we're going to try and scrape that up and peel that off. Okay. Oh man, I don't know if I can get under there. They put it too close to the actual plastic. Okay, there we go. So I'm using this plastic razor blade here to cut underneath the adhesive. Alright, now that we got that, let's go ahead and peel this up. Okay, slowly peel that up. Like this. I'm just slowly peeling it. Once you get to this part, you want to be careful. We're going to work our way over the top here, slowly rotating it, peeling it down, being very careful not to damage the connector. Okay, just like this. Go, slowly peel the sides. Ow, I think I'm going to cut myself on the glass. Peel that. There we go. So now that we got all this adhesive up, we can hopefully grab this thicker clear tab here and then pull that out. Here we go. So here we go. We got the broken screen. Oops, let's zoom out. And all these popsicle sticks. So we got the broken glass here. All right. And we're just gonna set this aside. I don't know if the customer's gonna want this all destroyed like this, but sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Okay. Again, the LCD works okay, just the digitizer got exploded. Then the other thing is, because these hinges were kind of loose, Looks like on this side they're okay, but I'm gonna see here. I'm gonna try and, all right, let's see, do I need to clean this thingy up a little bit? Kind of. Alright, so if you have like all this adhesive stuff stuck to these tools, you can actually use isopropyl rubbing alcohol with a paper towel to help dissolve the adhesive and peel that off. But I think we should be okay. Alright, let me clean up my work area here real quick. Alright, so now we're gonna have to find a way to get all the old adhesive residue off of this thing. So let me scoop this stuff up and throw it in the trash so that I don't get cut later. Okay, so all around here you can actually see there's all this adhesive residue here. I'm going to try and use some rubbing alcohol as well as like some scraping tools to kind of get it out. I can try with this. Let me see here real quick if, let's see, okay, move the heater aside. I'm going to use this as a fan. Hopefully you guys will still be able to hear me because it's too hot today. Alright, so let's go ahead and use the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver and double check these screws. Okay, these screws seem to be really tight. They don't move at all. That's good. But the regular hinge screws are definitely going to need something. I'm trying to see if the plastic hinge, how this holds into place. I don't even see. Okay, I see one clip here. So that clips in. So we could possibly remove this whole plastic frame, but I don't know, it's really difficult. Yeah, I don't know how I would remove that, so I'm gonna leave that. Uh-oh, the connector fell in there. You are probably going to need some tweezers to work on this one. Let's get that up out of there. Alright, I'm going to attach the Digitizer board onto this new screen first. Okay, so if I remember correctly, let's see here. So this board, we go, so we got that connector there, and then got that. So these are gonna go like this. Yeah. Okay, so this will connect this way. I don't know what that part of, oh, okay, that's part of the digitizer. So we're gonna get the digitizer board controller and slide these onto there. This is very important. If you get this wrong, then your touchscreen's not gonna work at all. Okay, so make sure to get these lined up right. So we got this one lined up in. You can tell because if you try and push it further, it doesn't move. And then we're gonna just slide our finger over to latch that on top. Then we're gonna do the same thing with the other side. Make sure it's all lined up properly. Sorry, it's going out of view. Okay, and then slide that, latch that over. Okay, there we go. So that looks good. So basically when we go to put the screen in, we're gonna have to reconnect this cable here and reattach this one. So most likely we'd reattach this first, and then we'll reattach that after. Okay, so let's go ahead and see about removing all this adhesive residue. This looks like it will be the hardest part, actually. If you don't remove this, you're gonna have like big gaps underneath your screen. So you kind of want to try and remove as much of this old residue as you can. We're probably just going to use a bunch of rubbing alcohol to do this because I don't think we're going to be able to just scrape this up like that. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some rubbing alcohol here, and then I'm going to use this tool to just move it around. And hopefully that will be able to get up the most of the adhesive residue. Technically you don't need to get it 100% perfect as long as you have adhesive sticking on both sides. But yeah, if you don't want it to come loose or anything, you want to try and get it as good as possible. Alright, so we got that. We're going to get this isopropyl rubbing alcohol. I'm going to get like a small piece of paper towel, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the rubbing alcohol all soaked into that paper towel. You can also use like a small syringe. This would probably work well with that. Because then you can just put a bunch of the rubbing alcohol on the adhesive residue here. Okay. And then when the adhesive mixes with the rubbing alcohol, it turns into like a goop, and you can kind of much easier scrape it up. I don't know if you can see, but this stuff is scraping up a lot easier now. You have to be careful. The rubber stuff is also kind of coming up pretty easily. But I am probably going to have to add a lot more to continue this process. But here you can see a lot of the sticky gunk just came out. Okay, man, it's going to stick to my hand, isn't it? Alright, let's continue adding some rubbing alcohol here. You can also use like Q-tips to do this. Whatever will hold the rubbing alcohol and let you spread it to where you need to. Okay, let's go ahead and scrape it up some more. Okay, you can see most of the adhesive residue is kind of coming up. And we're just going to keep continuing this until we get all this adhesive residue out. So this can be a pain. And if you want, you can actually keep rubbing it with the paper, but sometimes it's a lot harder this way. But once it starts dissolving, you just scrape it all up. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. You can see it's scraping all up. Maybe I'm gonna check if I can do this with Q-tips like I was mentioning, but most of this side is already done almost. There are patches where it's kind of really stuck on there. Can't really do much about that. Oh, there's pieces of the rubber that are kind of falling apart here, so that's going to be a little bit of a pain. Can't really do much about it. You can try and like glue that in there. I don't know, that might cause some problems, so we'll set that aside for now. I'll see about sticking that in with some super glue later. Okay, clean up all this residue. Gonna need a new paper towel, but basically just keep working at it. Okay, as you can see, it's mostly scraping all up. Alright, most of it's good. Let's get a new piece of paper towel. Oops, dropped my paper towel everywhere. Let's roll this back up. Alright, let's keep getting pieces of paper towel and working on this. This is a very long process. Especially if you want to get it close to perfect. That's pretty good. Let's see here. Can I put this piece back on there? looks like it broke this way. So I'm going to try and put a very tiny amount of super glue on it. Sorry, I know I'm going off camera. It's not on purpose, but it's hard to get what I'm doing and do this at the same time. Hold that there a few seconds. Go to the other side, lift it out a little. Put a little glue in there as well. Okay. Hold that in place. Sorry, I'm going out of view. I don't mean to. Go. Alright. So we're just going to be continuing doing the same process to get all of this gunky stuff out. Again, let me actually see if I have some Q-tips. That might make it easier. So I'll be back. I'm going to get some Q-tips and I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, got some Q-tips. So let's go ahead and try this. I'm going to try and dip them in there now. Alright, so now that I can dip these in, I can probably put a bunch more of the rubbing alcohol and just leave it soaked on there. And then once it soaks up the rubbing alcohol, then I can just scrape it off, hopefully. I don't think I can clean it with the rubbing alcohol, with the Q-tip, but just to transfer the rubbing alcohol where I need it. Kind of helps. Okay, let's try with the scraper tool. Kind of, not much different. Didn't really help too much. This stuff is coming out. Let me super glue this in a little bit. The Q-tip didn't really help too much. Let's try a little more. Close the super glue before it dries up. And I am using the other side of the Q-tip now because, of course, I don't want to contaminate my whole bottle. Okay. Sometimes it helps to just have the liquid there, and then while it's there, you kind of scrape it. Okay, I don't do these kinds of repairs too often, so if somebody knows a better way to do this, let me know. So far, this seems to be working okay. The scraping kind of exposes the adhesive, the new adhesive underneath to the rubbing alcohol, so it allows me to continue scraping it up. And somebody needs to make a tool that it kind of just squeegees out a little of the rubbing alcohol as you're squeezing this, as you're scraping it. Okay, here we go. We've got a big ball of adhesive. Okay. Again, it doesn't need to be 100% perfect because the adhesive, as long as it sticks, you'll be okay. As long as it sticks to part of it, it doesn't need to stick 100% to all around. Just as long as your screen doesn't fall out. Okay, let's get another Q-tip and continue. But I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, so I don't like to leave stuff if I can. Okay, it's coming out a lot better now. This seems to work better. Keeping the rubbing alcohol just in one place as I scrape. And then slowly working my way over. Okay. This side's not bad, so we'll probably leave that. Let's try and get that adhesive off on there. Okay. Got most of it out. There's still a little bit. Alright, I have to also be careful because there's the camera cable here. Make sure you don't accidentally knock that out or your camera won't work. Okay, let's get the other side with some rubbing alcohol on it. Oops, didn't mean to pour it onto the thing. That might actually, well, good thing I didn't pour it onto the components. Let me get a piece of paper and then I'll use that to help clean up the rest. Rubbing alcohol, luckily, is like non-conductive to electricity. But when it gets residue in it, it can cause some shorts. So you want to make sure if you spill this stuff somewhere that it's dried up before you turn on the computer. Okay. Oh, all that rubber stuff is coming out. I'm gonna have to super glue all of that in. Okay, so we got most of that out. Let's go ahead and super glue this into place. Oh man, this one's like crumbling. I don't know about this one. Okay. I'm gonna slowly have to glue these little pieces in. This stuff is all crumbly. Okay. This one. Wow, this one's actually ripping into two pieces. I don't think I can put this rubber piece back. Okay, we'll toss that. We're just gonna glue what's remaining onto the frame. Try and keep that in place. It's pretty bad design in terms of repairability. Okay, let's go ahead and all along there. Let's stick that back on. Okay. Sadly, there's going to be that little gap there. Can't really do anything about that. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol to this clean side of this Q-tip. And I need to be careful so I don't spill it out again. I need to get a container that's designed for this. Okay, this one will be a little bit tricky because it's right over the camera area. Again, you don't have to get every bit. I'm just kind of trying to do it as good as possible. The rest of the area, if you don't get this area, will actually hold the screen in place anyway, so it's not that important that you get every bit. Okay. I just like to try and get every bit I can. There we go, it's pretty good. Continue working our way down. Okay. Alright, get another Q-tip. Rubbing alcohol in there. Wipe it off on the paper towel. Cleaning. Okay, there's still a little bit stuck there. pretty good. Let's go ahead and continue on. And then I have some acrylic double-sided adhesive that I use. Continue getting this stuff up.